So, hi, whoever is on the other side of this camera. My name is Elvis Cabral. I'm the director of Movement City. I've been the director for about, I want to say 6 years. This might be my 6th season. I think right before the pandemic took over, I was made director that summer, and then it's been quite the experience thus far. I attended Movement City, I want to say it was like 2004 or so. I was like a sophomore, junior high school, and I had discovered hip hop. And one of my best friends, he talked to me about this program. He said, hey, there's this program that you could rap, you can make music, you could perform. And obviously I didn't know anything else, that's all he had to say. And I still remember that piece of paper, like you had to like circle the workshops that you wanted. Now I remember like my mom wasn't even too much involved in me signing up. I think I just showed up to Movement City and I was like part of it, which was awesome. But it felt like home pretty much right away. This feels like a very special moment, I think, in Movement City history as we prepare to move into the Dyeworks building, where we are expected to double, potentially triple, the amount of youth we have in the space. I think one of the things we noticed when this particular team came on, which was at the same time I came on about 8 years ago, is that we had a really cool space, but we were kind of constricted with the amount of kids we could have in the space. And usually ratios are kind of, big and we have the space for it, but when you have actual kids in the space, you realize that that's not enough space for what we're trying to do in this program. With our open mics, with our showcases, with more than 300 people coming to our space, with just regular workshop, with the way our summer workshops have been populated and the amount of time we have to run those, we started to realize that there were more opportunities. I want to solidify the idea of, again, part of this program is to build individuals that could deal with the real world once they graduate from high school, which seems like it's getting more and more difficult every year in this world that we live in. One of the things we've seen is that the kids in this space, you could tell they're confident human beings. They come here, they're themselves. We hear them, we have conversations with them, and truthfully, they build confidence through the space, through their art. I'm always sharing how the dance room to me is like the hardest workshop because it's so difficult to express yourself, but to express yourself through physical motion in that way, it's one of the hardest things to do because I've never been so comfortable where I could just dance in front of a crowd. So the fact that these young ladies come in here, at first they're very, very shy, but once they start connecting with Crystal, the instructor, and they start dancing, you could see like the nervousness just melt away and the stresses of their day just melt away, and there's this sisterhood that happens that gets built in the dance room, and they're more connected to each other, they're more confident. When we're having conversations, you hear them talk in a different way, with a different energy, with a different flow, a different vibe. And then they take that energy into these different performances, whether that be the GOTS Homecoming, to Hispanic Heritage Month, to the Semana Hispana stage, to our LCW block party, to our showcases. You could tell, like if you were to take this person at first and then see them at the end of a performance, it's like two different human beings. You could actively see them finding themselves throughout the weeks here at the program, and then the showcase, you get this kind of like explosion of personality you hadn't seen ever. And it's very special, and that's kind of like the fact that we could do that through art, the fact that we know that when this youth goes into a college campus and it's in a classroom, they're gonna be more inspired to speak, more inspired to say something, more inspired to express themselves and be themselves because they've already had a platform in which they've been able to do it for a couple years already. And we've seen that change. We see that change in almost every youth that comes to this space because we do attract a particular kind of creative through our workshop. They're not the most talkative most of the time, or they've never had a space where they can be themselves. And we're just happy that at the core of it all, if you were to strip the program down, at the core of it all, we're a safe space where you could be yourself. And anything that happens after that is just incredible. But again, it's just giving them as many of the tools as possible so that when they do go to college and they have to deal with some of these things themselves, they already have a little bit of a seed there to help them deal with those issues as they come up. And because we have a larger alumni group coming in every year, we hope that we could also extend services to to our adult members, which every year that list grows higher and higher. And because of that, we're also trying to build relationship with the school, with the colleges around us, with the universities around us. So that's a big aspect of this program as well, is as our roots grow, we're connecting more and more with the city, which is an incredible aspect of this program as well, because this program is very connected to the city and the history of it all. Sorry, my phone. Ariana, I'm gonna pick up this phone call. Hey, Ari.